Hello, this is Pratik, and today we will be seeing the comparison between PCF and DCF. So first of all, we should be knowing that the MAC layer is divided into two sublayers. The lower one is called DCF and the upper one is called PCF. So first we would be seeing the basic functions, what MAC layer does and what is the basic function of the MAC layer. So there are three main functions of the MAC layer. The first function is reliable data delivery, which is one of the most important functions when we are about to send any data or receive any data from anybody. The reliability of the data delivery is to be mattered every time. The second is access control and third is security, which we will not be seeing in the video. So let's go on and see what the reliable data delivery. Reliable data delivery services are designed to provide guaranteed and accurate delivery of data over unreliable or best networks. And as we know that 802.11 physical and MAC layers are subject to unreliability. 802.11 is a WLAN protocol, means wireless LAN protocols. So noise and interference and other propagation effects result in the loss of frames. Even with correction codes, frame may not be successfully received. So this reliable data delivery problem can be dealt by using a higher layer such as TCP or the other higher layers. Sometimes retransmission timers at higher layers typically are ordered, and so it is more efficient to deal with the errors at the MAC level only, otherwise the delay will be more. 802.11 includes frame exchange protocols. So the stations receiving frame returns acknowledgement frame, and here the exchange is treated as an atomic unit which is not interpreted by any other station. If no acknowledgement is there within a short period of time, then the sender will retransmit the frame. So now let's see the 4-frame exchange technique. So here in the 4-frame exchange technique, we will see the data transfer involved in the exchange of the 2 frames. So now for enhancing reliability, this 4-frame exchange technique may be used. Here what we do is, source issues a request to send frame to the destination. Destination responds with clear to send. After receiving clear to send, the source transmits data and the destination responds with the acknowledgement. Here RTS alerts all stations within the range of a source, while CTS alerts all stations which are in the range of the destination. Stations refrain them from transmission to avoid collision. RTS and CTS exchange is the required function of MAC layer, but this may be disabled. But this RTS and CTS exchange is very important for the reliable data delivery, which we have seen here. So now let's proceed further. As we have seen that the lower sublayer, which is the distributed coordination function, also known as DCF, and the upper sublayer, it is the PCF, which is also called as the point coordination function. Now the DCF provide contention algorithm to provide access to all the traffics. It mainly deals with the asynchronous traffic. And now about the PCF, we can say that it is a centralized MAC algorithm. It is contention free and it is just built on the top of the DCF. Now this is the IEEE 802.11 protocol architecture. So here we can see that the top layer is the LLC layer, and just below the LLC layer the MAC layer is present. And MAC layer is divided into 2 sublayers. The top layer is the PCF and the layer just below the PCF is the DCF. And we can also see that the PCF is the contention free service and the DCF is the contention service. Now let's proceed with the DCF. DCF uses CSMA. CSMA means there is no collision detection technique in this DCF function. And now these DCF functions consist some basic steps. If the station has to transmit, it first listen to the medium. If the medium is idle, then station may transmit. Otherwise, it will wait until the next transmission is complete. And this DCF has no collision detection, as we have seen, because it uses CSMA. So it is not practical on wireless networks where the dynamic range of signals are very large. And here the transmitting stations cannot distinguish between the incoming weak signals from the noise and effects of the own transmission. DCF includes delay, amount to priority scheme, interframe space. Now let's see about the interframe space. Interframe space is just a single delay. Interframe space will also be called IFS. Using IFS, rules for CSMA. Stations with frame senses medium. If idle, wait to see if it remains idle for one IFS. If so, stations may transmit immediately. If busy, either initially or becomes busy during the IFS, stations defers transmission. Continue to monitor until current transmission is over. Once the current transmission is over, delay another IFS. If it remains idle, back off random time and again sense. If medium is still idle, then stations will transmit. During the back off time, if it becomes busy, back off timer is halted and resumes when the medium becomes idle. To ensure stability, binary exponential back off will be used, which we will not study in the video. Now, IEEE 802.11 MAC control logic. So this we have seen previously. Now let's see it once again. Let's start from here. So first we are waiting for the frame to transmit, and after we know that the frame is waiting for transmission, we will see whether the medium is idle or not. If it is idle, then we will wait for one interframe space and check whether the medium is again idle or not. If it is again idle, then we see that the frame is transmitted, which is this path, and this path is almost completed here. And let's see what happens when the medium is not idle at the first only. If the medium is not idle, we will wait until the current transmission ends, and once the current transmission ends, we will then again wait for one IFS and again see if the medium is still idle or not. If the medium is idle, we will wait for the exponential back off time till the medium becomes idle, and after that we can transmit the frame. But if the medium is not idle, we will again wait until the current transmission ends. So this process will continue until the frame is transmitted, until the waiting frame is transmitted. So now let's go ahead. So now let's see the priority. There are three values for IFS. So we can see that the first one is SIFS. The SIFS full form is short interframe space, which is also called as short IFS. It is the shortest IFS. For all immediate response actions, SIFS will be used. PIFS, point coordination function IFS. As the name suggests, it will be used in the PCF function, which we will see later. It is the mid-length IFS, means it is slightly bigger than SIFS, but it will be smaller than DIFS. It will be used in the polling schemes when we will be issuing the polls, which will be issued by the polling coordinator. So that we will see in the PCF scheme. And in DIFS is distributed coordination function IFS. So it is a part of DCF, which we will be using in the DCF. It is the longest IFS, used as minimum delay for asynchronous frames contending for access. Now according to size, if we see the priority schemes, so SIFS will be given the most priority, PIFS will be the second, and the DIFS will be the third. That's why DIFS is given to the contending frames, which is used for the asynchronous bits. So now let's go ahead. Now SIFS uses, as we have seen that the SIFS has the highest priority, so it will be used when a station is sending acknowledgement after it has received the data, in preference to station waiting PIFS or DIFS time. SIFS used in the following circumstances. Acknowledgement. Stations respond with acknowledgement after waiting SIFS gap. No collision detection, so likelihoods of collision greater than CSMA CD, because no collision detection is there in CSMA, which is used for PCF and DCF both. MAC level acknowledgement gives efficient collision recovery. SIFS provides efficient delivery of multiple LLC PDU. Station with a multi-frame LLC PDU to transmit sends out MAC frames one at a time. Each frame acknowledged after SIFS by the recipient. When source receive acknowledgement, immediately after SIFS sends next frame in sequence. One station has contended for channels, it maintains control of all the fragments sent. SIFS is also used in the clear to send frame. Stations can ensure data frame will get through by issuing RTS. Destination stations should immediately respond with CTS if ready to receive. All other stations hear RTS and defer. Pole response, see point coordination function. We will see the pole response in the point coordination function. So let's go ahead. PIFS and DIFS. PIFS is used by the centralized controller, which we will be also calling as the polling coordinator, issuing polls. These all functions are provided by the polling coordinator. Takes precedence over normal contention traffic, which because contention traffic is DIFS and PIFS, and as we have seen that PIFS has more priority than the DIFS. Frames using SIFS have precedence over PCF polls, which we have also seen SIFS as the most priority and PCF-IFS has the priority which is just below SIFS. DIFS uses all ordinary asynchronous traffic. So now whatever things we have talked earlier, we can see it through here. So first it is when immediate access, when medium is free longer than DIFS. So once DIFS is done, then it transmitted the frame. So the medium is busy for a particular time. Now one or more SIFS, PIFS and DIFS of it can be used at that time. So whichever has the greatest priority will be given first, and if SIFS comes, then the SIFS one will be transmitted, and here the DIFS is there, so it is called the contention window, because contention is there in the DIFS, which we have seen contention is there in DCF function. So now the previous timing diagram which we have seen, we will clear it in the super frame structure, which we will see later. Now PCF, alternative access method implemented on the top of DCF, polling by the centralized polling master. These all things we have seen previously. This is just a recap. Uses PIFS when issuing polls. PIFS is smaller than DIFS. Can seize medium and lock out all asynchronous traffic while it issues polls and receiving responses. This is because PIFS has greater priority than DIFS. Wireless network configured. So number of stations with time sensitive traffic controlled by PCF. Remaining traffic contents for access using CSMA. Point coordinator polls in round robin to the station configured for polling. When poll issued, polled station may respond using SIFS. If point coordinator receives response, it issues another poll using PIFS. If no response during the expected turnabout time, coordinator issues a poll. Super frame. This is the one timing diagram which we have seen earlier. Point coordination would log out all synchronous traffic by issuing the polls, because PCF has a greater priority than the DCF. Super frame interval defined. During the first part of the super frame interval, point coordinator polls round robin to all stations configured for polling. It will first poll to all the stations. Point coordinator then idles for remainder of the super frame, allowing contention period for asynchronous access. At the beginning of super frame, point coordinator may seize control and issues poll for the given period. Time varies because of variable frame size issued by the responding stations. Rest of the super frame available for contention based access. At the end of the super frame interval, point coordinator contents for access using PIFS. If idle, point coordinator gains immediate access. Full super frame period follows. If busy, point coordinator must wait for idle to gain access. Results in foreshortened super frame period for the next cycle. Now IEEE MAC timing diagram for PCF super frame construction. So super frame is a fixed nominal length. In that nominal length, first half is defined for the contention free period and the second half is defined for the contention period. The first half is PCF, which is optional, which we can select by the point coordinator function. If it polls and if the station selects, then it is being sent, or otherwise it cannot be sent, but all the asynchronous traffics are being sent for DCF. And if the medium is busy for in a particular super frame structure, then the super frame structure will be shortened by that amount where the PCF differs, which we can see in the diagram. So I think it would be clear now. Now let's go ahead. Now these are some of the basic differences which we have already seen earlier. So I will be just one by one reading out the differences. So the first one is DCF uses CSMA and PCF is connection oriented, which means it is based upon the polling mechanism. It is the contention period. It uses the contention period, and DCF uses the contention free period. And these are the practical results which we are seeing here. I will just read out. DCF assures soft QoS in the lower traffic environment, may fail to allocate channel resources to completing sessions, no guarantee in between packet delay and jitter, throughput degradation in heavy load, works nicely in network with one AP only, hidden node problem as a result of multiple AP, overlapping cell problem when having more AP, unknown transmission time of hold station. This sums up the comparison between PCF and DCF.